Welcome to Contemporary Retirement. Contemporary Retirement is a public interest program focused on the retirement community. Every program has segments on legal, financial, and health issues affecting the retirement community. Contemporary Retirement is sponsored in part by a major grant from the Family Heritage Trust Company.
Contemporary Retirement is sponsored by Family Heritage Trust Company. The Family Heritage Trust Company is an independent bank chartered trust company established by local professionals to provide fiduciary services including fee-based investment advice, trust services, retirement planning, and tax planning. The Family Heritage Trust Company is committed to client service in our communities. For more information, call the Family Heritage Trust Company at 301-631-5900.
Contemporary Retirement is sponsored in part by a grant from R. Thomas Murphy & Associates, P.C. R. Thomas Murphy & Associates is one of Franklin County's leading law firms, emphasizing estate, trust, elder law, and medical assistance planning.
Welcome to the Is It Legal feature on Contemporary Retirement. This segment focuses on various legal issues which are of importance to the retirement community. With me today is Tom Murphy from the R. Thomas Murphy Law Firm with offices Waynesboro, Chambersburg, and McConnellsburg. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Morning.
Tom, we've been doing a sequence on the fact that we as elder law attorneys find ourselves consulting with families on care plans because there's really not a lot of expertise in our market area for it.
Yeah, and what you see is people coming in, children particularly, they've done their research and they're just frustrated because they can't get one single answer as to what's out there and how do I pay for it.
Well, as we were talking about cottages and independent living apartments, you know, if you're in a continuing care retirement community, you have to make the decision to go when you don't need it.
Exactly. If you're being dragged into something because you have a crisis, then you're going to get a second-rate choice, in my mind.
You have no control over those choices. And also you may find yourself with one spouse relatively healthy and the other spouse needing extensive services, and it can actually be quite expensive to now try to maintain a household as well as paying for assisted living for another spouse.
Exactly, and so you've got this sort of dangling situation where one couple, you know, has made the decision and they're in great shape, and their couple is separated and they're paying all this extra money, and it's really just a temporary mess.
And we're always looking at paying attention to a person's resources, because if they expend resources unnecessarily, they're compromising their security.
Exactly, and it's the same as giving away money. I mean, if you don't have it, you can't spend it, and you don't have the choices. It's worse when you've got a bad decision and you're spending the money that you shouldn't be spending because there's a better answer.
And then we talked a little bit about benefits. We talked a little bit a couple weeks ago about aid and attendance, which is really the only realistic benefit for in-home services. It does have an assisted living benefit, but you have to have been in service during certain times. You have to meet certain eligibility requirements. But as we talked about cottages and independent living, in Maryland there are no benefits available for those.
Yeah, that type of what I call lower level health need doesn't have any public benefit in Pennsylvania. If you have a nursing home level care, well then a little bit of home care, a little bit of community-based care, but it's limited.
And so as we're talking to folks, you know, and we're looking at trying to make sure they're using their resources appropriately, we're looking down the road to say, if you found yourself in that environment in which you needed resources in order to be able to access those services, where there is no reimbursement available to you, you have to be paying attention to how you're utilizing your money.
Exactly. And so when we're sitting down, we're plotting that out and showing that based on your income and these resources and these programs, this is how we would finance it.
And oftentimes we do like continuing care retirement communities in terms of planning and a long-range view, because oftentimes we don't have children in the area anymore. It's not like it was 30 years ago when our 80-year-old clients were taking care of their parents, never considered leaving the community. Their kids did leave the community.
Right.
And so, you know, and you oftentimes ask a parent, do you want to live with your children? And most of them say, absolutely not.
Right.
And so if they're not having strong support within the community, they have to design their own support structure.
Exactly, and so those CCRCs are an excellent resource for sort of having a path for whatever might come health-wise. You've got a care plan in place.
Or then we have that single person, you know, whose spouse has passed, no children in the immediate area, they're getting older, and the fact of the matter is they have no care plan. They're just hoping that it works out.
Oh, exactly, and they've got neighbors and friends, but that structure is kind of loose, and it's not a surefire way to go through your life. So you can be proactive and lay out a plan of action, and rest assured you're going to be cared for.
And as we tell folks when they come and they talk to us about this, there is no yellow brick path. There is no one answer that works in every environment. One of my favorite continuing care retirement communities is very weak on assisted living dementia. And if that happens to be your need, it doesn't matter how beautiful that facility is, how much you like it for every other level of care, it's not good for that.
Exactly, and so you've got to know that going in. You don't want to find out 6 months, a year into it that you've got to move again.
As we work with families, we're also looking at, the fact is that standalone assisted livings provide very important resources, but also because they're standalone, it means if you have a further deterioration in care, you're going to have to move again at a time in which you may not be in a great position to make some of the choices that would be required.
Absolutely, and so you've got to know the extent of the facility's expertise and whether you're going to be able to sort of finish your life there or whether you're going to have to move at a point where you've diminished your resources and have fewer choices.
And we have these assisted living facilities saying that they're going to keep them until they die. Well, the reality is they can't make that commitment because they can commit to try. But at the end of the day, they're not licensed for every level of care that a nursing home is licensed for. And if you happen to need that level of care, you're not going to be able to stay in the assisted living.
Well, there's another factor too, because in many cases people are being admitted based on the size of the resource pile. And so in many facilities, they don't have the resources to keep you indefinitely, and if you can't pay, you're going to be kicked out.
Tom, as always, thanks for taking time to appear on the program.
You're welcome.
More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
Few things in life are as important as family. Leave your insurance worries to us. Write Gardner. Call or visit our website to learn how we can make insurance simple and more affordable.
Every life that meets its end leaves a heart for love to mend. Sister, brother, family, friends are left to carry on. When the loss seems more than you can bear, it's nice to know that we'll be there at Double Safe Fiery Funeral Home. We care.
Call Ed Lowe to help put your mind at ease.
Welcome to a special guest feature on Contemporary Retirement. This segment focuses on various issues which are of importance to the retirement community. With me today is Matt Hurley from Hurley Auctions. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thanks, Mike.
When we talk issues of importance to the retirement community, getting fair value for their contents is important, as they realize sooner or later they may have to downsize or ultimately when they pass.
It is. These are things they've collected over the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years. They're very important to them.
And one of the great challenges here is with our diverse, society, people living all over the place. Many times children are not around, and breaking down or downsizing a house is almost an insurmountable task.
Mm-hmm. More and more we're finding that there are families that their children are just scattered everywhere. They no longer live on the same street or the same neighborhood. So it's mom and dad, and what do we do?
And there's a difference. Many times families lived in same houses, so it went from one generation to the next, so that furniture sat there. It didn't really move or anything else. But now, we're dealing with seniors who are significantly older, 80, 85 years old. Their children are 60, 65 years old, and they are not looking for another house full of furniture.
No, they are already filled up. And their grandchildren don't want it.
And one of the challenges that we also have, before we get into one of our favorite segments here, is the fact is that some of these people have extensive collections. At the end of the day, only the collector can get full value for it because they know exactly where to go, and they can take 3 or 4 years in order to sell the stuff, which is what it would take to, to move a collection. But the reality is most people do not have that kind of time, and you bring a great deal of expertise in understanding how to get a fair price for this stuff, but not necessarily the premium that the collector could get because they know where to get it.
And the neat thing about what we do now is everything's online. And so we now sell to the world. We don't just sell to the guy down the street. So it's made a just tremendous difference on values we can get for people.
So you sell internationally?
We do. We've shipped a car to Germany, and so we send stuff to Mexico, all over the world.
And how many qualified bidders do you currently
It
have?
keeps going up. We're about 17,000 now.
All right, now, always one of my favorite things is we don't do estimates. We do actual sales prices.
We're going to
on
do
a lot
actual
of
sales
stuff.
prices today.
All right, so we're going to pull up some pictures, see if Mike can make a fool out of himself.
Okay, we're going to play what's hot and what's not. So you tell me hot or not, and I'll tell you what it brought.
Cast iron forge blower. Well, first of all, I have no idea what it is, but that probably means it's hot.
It is. It was hot. $300. We found that buried in the barn. And so next one is an early water pitcher from 1890. And so it's been around forever. Admiral Dewey, what do you think, hot or not?
Well, you know, I'm an older person, so that'd be hot to me, but I'm a little concerned that younger people may not be hot on it.
It is not. It brought $10.
Wow.
20 years ago, it brought a lot more. So 2 Crocs. They're old. They're over 100 years old. Hot or not?
Well, I know my wife likes them, so I'm going to gamble on hot.
I'm going to say not. They brought $25 for the pair.
Well, at least you didn't throw them away.
Now this is neat. Majelica covered soup bowls. There's only 4 of them, but they're Majelica soup bowls. Hot or not?
I'm going to say not because I've never seen anybody serving that way
This is
anymore.
something you'd see in the kitchen that you just throw away. Mike, they brought $500. No joke. Sold at a recent auction. Antique washboard. Grandma used it to scrub those clothes. Hot or not?
I see them hanging on people's walls, so, but there tend to be people like me, so I'm going to say not.
$17. You're right. You're right. This is neat. This is a neoclassical bar cabinet. It's where you'd keep your drink supplies. Hot or not?
Oh, definitely not hot.
Actually, $250. So it was hot.
All right, let's see here.
Now this one's changed a lot. This is a pinch bottle from Penmar. Many of you know where Penmar is. Hot or not?
And so the stopper is broken and stuck in the neck?
Yeah, stopper's broken, stuck in the neck.
Well, that's definitely not hot for me because I
Well,
won't be able to get
we're
my
going to say
bourbon
it's warm.
out.
It brought $125.
Wow.
But 20 years ago, it would have brought $300. So still good, but not as good. Large crystal vase, cut glass, beautiful.
I love cut glass, but that means it's not.
$7. It's the stuff they just don't want anymore. Here's some porcelain, some hair receivers, some hat pin holders, dresser boxes. Hot or not?
Well, I'm not hot on them, so they must be hot.
No, I'm sorry. They brought $30 for all of them.
That's still not bad.
I like this one. This is just antique furniture pools. As an old piece of furniture, you know, lost its life, they saved the pools off of it. So what do you think? Hot or not? They don't match, just a bunch of odd furniture pools.
I'm going to say not.
Brought over $200. And they don't even match. And so it's funny what's hot today, but those are some of the things that we're seeing in our auctions.
And so as we talk to people who are watching it, I just love this portion of the programming. What is rule number 1?
Don't throw anything away.
You have no idea.
No idea. That's right. That's right. It is changing every day what people want.
So how can they get a hold of you, Matt?
On our website, hurleyauctions.com, or give us a call, 717-597-9100.
Fun as always, Matt. Thanks.
Thanks. Good to be here.
More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
Tranquility at Fredericktown Assisted Living and Memory Care provides a warm, home-like atmosphere that promotes daily life enrichment. At Tranquility, our medical director is a geriatric physician. Our professionals support and understand the various stages associated with Alzheimer's and dementia. We have on-site physical, occupational, and speech therapists, as well as around-the-clock licensed nurses. For more information, give Tranquility at Fredericktown a call today, because everyone deserves great care. Let us do the caregiving so you and your loved one can embrace life again.
All right, let's get this show on the road. Ma'am, give me a good push.
Hang on, just 1 minute.
Ma'am, I need you to push right now.
Honey, you really need to push.
It's time.
Just hold on a minute.
No, right now. 1 push, ma'am. 1 push.
Just one more bid on hurleyauctions.com.
If you haven't visited hurleyauctions.com, you don't know what you're missing. Whether you're buying or selling, antique cars, tractors, boats, or real estate, you can do it all at hurleyauctions.com.
Get to know Dr. Carrie Hesley at Diagnostic Imaging Services.
What I find most rewarding is caring for women through our Women's Imaging Center. We have a caring staff that will ease patients through an ultrasound, bone densitometry, breast biopsy, or mammogram. Our health team is sensitive to emotions involved in women's imaging and understands that every woman is at risk for breast cancer. Providing the community with a center that is so dedicated to breast health and the imaging needs of women is something special.
DIS Women's Imaging Center, providing women with progressive care.
Welcome to Contemporary Health Scene. Contemporary Health Scene focuses on the health issues affecting the retirement community. With me today is Paul Sweeney, President of Quality First Insurance Agency. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Good morning, Mike.
Now, most people don't think of an insurance agency as being involved with health, but actually this is one of the most critical times every year for people who have health insurance. Why would that be?
Well, there's something called the annual election period.
This is for people over 65.
People over 65. If you're covered by Medicare, you have to make a decision about your prescription drug coverage.
And if you have an employer plan, you don't. But if you don't have an employer plan, which about 60% of Medicare recipients do not, and that number is diminishing as time goes on.
You're right. More and more people are going on to Medicare, getting individual supplemental insurance plans, and then also buying individual PDPs or prescription drug programs.
It's very interesting because the state of Maryland had a fit or a stop right now on moving people into Part D. It ended up being suspended and pushed back 1 year. But the irony is people are all in an uproar about it. But if you have the chance to select your own plan, you're going to probably have a better prescription drug plan than if an employer imposes theirs on you.
Right. If an employer offers you prescription drug coverage, you have to go with that particular plan. You have to go with their formulary, their copays, everything involved with that particular program. When you're on Medicare Part D, you have the option of choosing which plan you want to belong to. And in Maryland, there are over 25 different plans to choose from. So you have a lot more choice.
Which, by the way, would be the same in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia, but they're different. They don't cross state lines.
Right. Maryland is different from Pennsylvania, which is different from West Virginia, which is different from Virginia. They're all different.
But the concept we're talking about is the same.
So, and the reason why you have to decide which plan you want to go with is because they contract for a year at a time. They contract
1 year.
They contract from January 1 through December 31.
Which means it's going to change every year.
And they do change every year. And the companies are required to send out a notice of change. It's called an annual notice of change. Most people get it. It's a package of information, has usually 40, 50 pages attached to it. It'll show if there's been any change in the premium, any change in the deductibles, any change in the tiers, any change in the formulary. And most people look, unfortunately, to see what the premium is, and if the premium hasn't changed much, the knee-jerk reaction, unfortunately, is, I think I'm just going to stay with this plan.
Well, and the fact is they say, I don't want to change. The answer, it is going to change. It's guaranteed it's going to change. It doesn't matter that it may have been successful for you for 5 years. It's still evolving, and you have no idea what it is. And I know you hate this analogy. Well, what is the insurance industry's favorite game? The shell game. Premiums, copays, deductibles, and formulary lists, and they're constantly changing.
Right, and the most important piece of that puzzle is the formulary. The formulary is a list of medications that your plan is going to cover. So it's not that difficult. You can look up, even if somebody's taking 10 different medications, you want to look them up in the formulary book, which is included with the annual notice of change, to see if your medication is still going to be covered by that plan.
Or you can go on the Medicare.gov website, type in, go to prescription drug plans, type in your zip code, type in your prescription list, and it'll help you select the plans out of those 25 plans much more easily than trying to do it yourself. But more importantly, just as you say formulary, which is critical, we had some plans drop. A major drug that many people were taking last year was a $300 a month drop that people did not realize. But also there's unfortunate things happening. We saw some of the generic statins actually in some instances having higher deductibles than the name brand. There's just all kinds of stuff going on. You have to pay attention.
You have to pay attention, and that's all we're saying is the time to change is from October 15th through December 7th, and we still have a couple of weeks to go, and if you haven't done it yet, please just take a few minutes and take care of it.
And the consequence of not having paid attention oftentimes is really quite difficult for people. One of the big games a couple of years ago was changing the initial deductibles. So people had a plan that might have only had a $100 initial deductible go as high as $450. And so they found themselves with 3 months with the essence, no insurance coverage for that for people who really couldn't afford it.
And if you're over 65 and you have a prescription drug plan currently in effect, this means you.
And we just can't get people to get it. And we every day said, Mike, I like my plan. I'm not changing it. And it doesn't matter. It's changing on you.
Yeah, you might not have to change, but you need to look to make sure that you don't.
And so everybody during that time frame that is not on an employer or government benefits plan, October 15th to December 7th.
Pay attention.
Paul, as always, thanks for taking time to appear on the program.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
The Community Foundation strives to be a forward-thinking organization.
We are assessing needs, working with donors to see things differently,
so that Frederick County can be its best. It's a wonderful place for all of us to live, work, and play.
We look forward to addressing the future needs of the community.
Visit frederickcountygives.org and learn how you can start to see things differently too.
Albright, Crumbacker, Mal & Idtel are a full-service firm that provides elder care services including managing incoming bills, bill payment, depositing checks, balancing bank statements, and preparing, planning, and filing personal tax returns. Put your mind at ease and call us today.
Welcome to the Making Sense feature on Contemporary Retirement. Making Sense focuses on the financial issues affecting the retirement community. With me today is David Twenhafel, Senior Vice President, Family Heritage Trust Company. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
You know, we spend a lot of time talking about trusts and so forth, but one of the drivers of the trust company is also to be an investment advisor, whether it be in trusts or whether it be retirement accounts or whether it be just pure investment accounts. And so the trust company is characterized as a fiduciary. What the heck does that mean?
Well, a fiduciary it means that we always put the client's interest first. We always put their best interest ahead of any interest we might have.
And so one of the challenges here is that everybody you see in the media suggests you should have a fee-based money managers, but actually they're quite difficult to find, and particularly for middle-class folks.
They are, because it's, well, I'm not quite sure why. I think the commissions are just so much more attractive way for people in the industry to work.
And oftentimes you'll see that because the fact is that fees have to be disclosed, commissions in many of these products are not disclosed, and so it's a little easier to get compensated in a product sale.
That's true. I've had many conversations where people are telling me that their current person doesn't charge them anything, and I go, "He works for free?"
Running a big charity?
Yeah, exactly. And then they realize that can't possibly be true.
And oftentimes I characterize as I talk to people, are you more likely to be competitive in your fees when they're disclosed, or are you more likely to be competitive when you don't have to disclose them?
Sunshine is a very big disinfectant.
Well, as we look at this stuff, one of the reasons that the trust company came into existence is in the professional careers of the directors and the shareholders of the trust company, mostly lawyers and CPAs, was that these annuity products were being sold all over the place, and the vast majority of them inappropriately sold, and many instances sold on the basis of certain premises that if you looked behind the contract, it wasn't exactly what it said.
That's so true, and I would say that most people who buy annuities really maybe never understood them in the first place, and if they did, maybe they lost their understanding about 10 minutes later.
Well, you'll see these, we'll use 100,000 as an easy number, is that many of these annuities, you'll see that as soon as you give them the check and the look period expires, typically 20 days or so, and if you were to cash it in on the 21st day, you would get back 93,000. What happened there?
Well, there's a commission being paid, 5, 6, 7%. Some annuities have pay even larger commissions, double-digit percentages. But what happens is you get a statement. The statement shows that what is in there is what you gave them, but what isn't obvious is that that's not the value that you can pull out if you want to pull it out today.
And so we'll see ones with 10% bonuses, but the 10% is only if you take it out over a 10-year period or some sort of an annuitization period. But if you actually cashed it in that day, you didn't get a 10% bonus. You got an 8 or 9% loss.
Well, so liquidity is a big issue. With an investment, you want to know that what you put in is something you're able to get back out again if you change your mind. Go ahead.
One of the challenges here is that they're sold on some premises that are marginally okay, but in reality, in the big picture, are not okay. So, for instance, if you had a $100,000 stock portfolio and now it's worth $200,000, basically you paid no taxes to own that until you actually sold the stocks.
Correct.
On the other hand, if that annuity had $100,000 in gain, how would that gain come out?
Well, the first money that comes out is all the taxable money. So if you put $100,000 in, and it's worth $200,000, you take $100,000 out, that's $100,000 of taxable income.
And is that at ordinary rates or capital gains rates?
Even worse, it's at ordinary rates, which is the highest tax rate you can pay on income.
Whereas if you'd owned the stock, which by the way, most of the annuities own stocks, people are shocked to find out they actually invested in the market. It comes out of capital gains rates, which in some instances is no tax for federal purposes, and most of the time it's 60% less than the regular tax rate.
Yeah, annuities are often sold for being tax efficient, but they are not tax efficient. You wind up paying more in taxes over time.
And then with that stock portfolio, if you died owning it, the tax goes away when it goes to your children. But what happens when your children inherit that annuity?
One of the worst things in the world is inheriting an annuity, because you still have to pay the income taxes. And what often happens is that the children are in their prime earning years when their parents die, and they're in a higher tax bracket, so they're paying even more money in taxes than their parents would have done.
And then, of course, we see the complete disconnect of annuities and IRA accounts, which were tax-free anyway, and there was just no justification for that.
Yeah, that's still a very odd thing when I see that. You really shouldn't be using an annuity in an IRA.
Dave, as always, thanks for taking time to appear on the program.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you from Contemporary Retirement.
Remember a more carefree time? Leave your insurance worries to us. Write Gardner. Call or visit our website to learn how we can make insurance simple and more affordable.
These days, it seems like everything's online, and filling out claim forms and receiving and paying bills online isn't always easiest. That's why we at Quality First Insurance encourage you to just give us a call. Let us help.
Hi there, I'm Paul Sweeney with Quality First Insurance, and it's still just this simple. Our offices are open every weekday where you'll be able to call and speak to real, live people.
No detail was missed. I'm so glad that I turned to Quality First Insurance.
I've recommended Quality First Insurance to my friends who've been just as satisfied.
If you're not happy with what you're paying for Medigap, or more importantly, not happy with your service, give us a try. We're locally owned, and we take the time to provide you with the best. We are Quality First Insurance, and our mission is to provide quality products to quality people. Pick up the phone and give us a call today at 800-745-1411.